So if you know anything about me, you know that I am obsessed with reading and I love to read constantly. And so I wanted to give you guys 5 books today that are perfect for rappers and for anybody who wants to get their music career started. What's going on? It's Pim Fried Rice. Welcome to the Music Into Millions podcast, where, like I said today, I'm just going to be covering a couple of my favorite books that have really helped me in my journey because they're really great resources and I want to get you started on the same path. So the first one is All You Need to Know About the Music Business by Donald Passman. And now this is a big book, don't get me wrong, but it is a phenomenal book nonetheless. This book literally has everything you need to know, just like the title says, about being in the music business. It talks about points, it talks about splits, it talks about royalties, it talks about managers, it talks about lawyers, like entertainment lawyers. It talks about everything. That's why it's such a thick book. Be sure, if you do get that book, that you get the most updated version. They bring a new version out, I think it's like every year or two or something like that. That way they keep up to date. I'm actually behind on one of the ones because I got mine like 3 or 4 years ago. So make sure you get the most recent edition. That way you're getting the most up-to-date information. But that book is phenomenal. It's going to really help you figure out the things that you need to know about being in the business side of music. Because we get the music. I mean, as rappers, that part comes easy. It's not always the part about, you know, the managers and the lawyers that we understand. So that's the first book. Like I said, All You Need to Know About the Music Business. The next book is The Home Recording Handbook by Dave Hunter. And now I am a huge advocate of getting some equipment for your home, recording yourself at home. Even if you don't mix yourself at home, maybe you're not the best engineer, maybe that's not something you're interested in doing, but at least record your vocals at home and send them to an engineer or somebody who's good at mixing. That way you don't have to worry about it, 1, and 2, that way you can start putting out songs more frequently, and 3, you can save money because you're not constantly going to recording studios. So this book literally gives you the breakdown on the equipment that you're going to need. It talks about what that equipment does. It talks about, you know, it does give you some mixing information here. It's not super in-depth, but they talk about like the best possible ways to record when you're at home, how to treat your home for like soundproofing and everything like that. Super awesome book. Super informative, really going to help you figure out how to get a home recording studio set up. So, the next one is kind of like a two-for deal. It's 2 books, but they're both written by the same person, so I figured I would just count it as 1 book. And the first one is Steal Like an Artist, and that is by Austin Kleon, or Kleon, I actually don't know how to say his name. But basically, the whole idea of this book is nothing in the world is original. Even things that seem like they may be original, they're usually just a spin-off of something that's already happened in the world. And as an artist, as a musician, as a rapper, we're most of the times looking at the world to see what can we steal from other artists. Now, steal's not necessarily a bad thing. Stealing when you just directly copy someone is when stealing is wrong. But stealing when you use something as a reference of influence, so say, you know, I look at the wheel on a car and I'm like, I really like that, but I can change, you know, X, Y, Z about it, and then I redesign it and come up with a better wheel. That's what this book's about right here. Stealing like an artist, looking at the world through a different lens, instead of just, what can I create that's new, what can I improve to make better? So yeah, that's a super awesome book by Austin Kleon. And the second book by him is called Show Your Work. And now this, basically, both these books are super small, they're super easy, you could probably get through it in a night or a day or two. This book is pretty much just about how to share your creativity, how to get discovered, how to get your work out there. Because a lot of times, like I said, as musicians and as rappers, we know how to make the music. That's the easy part. But it's, you know, promoting yourself and figuring out where to go and just everything like that. So this book, super helpful. Steal Like an Artist, super helpful. Both by Austin Kleon. Great books. I think I said his name differently every time I just said it, but whatever. So, the next book is called The War of Art. Not to be confused with The Art of War, which is a book by Sun Tzu, which is a much older book than this one. This one is by Steven Pressfield. And basically the whole point of this book is how to overcome like creative blocks. So, I'm sure as rappers you've been there before where you hear the sickest beat, but no matter what happens, like you just cannot come up with lyrics for it. I know I've been there before when I was rapping as well, and also with my music production. Like I've been staring at my computer screen just like, I know I want to make something, but I have no idea what I'm going to make or what's going to come out. Well, this book talks about different things that you can do to overcome those creative blocks. It talks about resistance. That's the main topic of the book. And just basically the fact that like you're going to encounter resistance. You're going to have things that come against you that make creating hard. But this just shows you how to overcome those things and how to really just tackle the world from the mindset of how can I better myself, how can I move forward, everything like that. Kind of like we were talking about the other day with changing your mindset. This book is super great for that. And the last one is not actually a specific book. It's more a type of book. And that would be biographies or autobiographies on any musician that you like, or a rapper or anything like that, or a music mogul, anybody who's in the music world. Like I love reading about Kurt Cobain. He's one of my favorite artists of all time. I've read Jay-Z's book, which is Decoded. There's also like Rick Ross's book, I believe that's called Hurricane. That might be completely wrong, but yeah. Look up different rappers' books, because rappers have written books, rappers have had books written about them, and when you get to read these books, you find out, oh, okay, these guys weren't an overnight success. They weren't just somebody who was not famous sitting at home one day and then the next day they're a billionaire like Jay-Z. No, these people grinded slowly over time. They went through hardships. They went through situations where like their back was against the wall and they didn't know how they were going to survive or make it out, but they did, and they ended up on top, and that's why they have books written about them. They're moguls. They're the people that we want to be. They're our idols. So those books are perfect. Biographies, autobiographies, anything about artists that are going to give you a little bit more insight into their personal life, so that way you see you're not alone with the daily struggles that you have. So those are technically five or six, couple extra books in there, but I just wanted to give you guys some great reading material, because if you're anything like me, you're a super big book nerd and you just read all the time, and those books are really going to move you forward in your music career. Check them out. I'll leave the links below. Have a great day.